Hello, everybody. It is Music Monday time. Today's guest joining me in the studio is Allison Brown, local musician. We were chatting. She's actually been on the show before. Was it to do with music the last time you were here?
I think I was sort of a test subject for when you guys only had an internet stream going. I think it was your first day. And I just came to chat with you guys and talk about the radio station. So I'm so glad to be back several years later. And
welcome back.
Yeah, it's great to be on the Amherstburg airwaves.
How are you doing since, I think, probably about a year and a half, the last year and a half? How have things been going?
Pretty good. I had a lot of shows and done a lot of traveling. I'm also a pet sitter as well. So I travel around mostly watching people's dogs and cats. So last summer I went out to Vancouver Island and I was away for 4 months out on the West Coast. And I just got back to Pocket Corners where I live after a couple of months up in London, watching some dogs there too. So I kind of hop around, mainly Southern Ontario, but I'm home for the month of April and then I'm off on some more adventures. I do have some shows in the area coming up.
Busy in the month of April.
Well, yeah, April is not too busy. The next thing that I have around here is probably the Oxley Winery. I'm going to be playing on June 1st with my friend Mike Houston, who's formerly known as Lonesome Lefty. So if anyone has heard Lefty's music before, him and I are doing a lot of duet shows. So we're at Oxley Winery on June 1st. And then I'm away again. I go out to Vancouver Island again for part of the summer. And then I come back. I'm going to be at Sprucewood Winery on September the 7th. And then I'm probably going to have a few other shows in August around the area. It's still kind of building up. So I'm hoping to be back around Amherstburg for some more concerts and stuff.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I still think you're going to be busy this coming weekend.
Oh, yeah, this weekend.
Yeah.
My good friend who you had on the air a couple weeks ago, Mr. $2 Bill.
Gave you a shout out.
He did?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I got to give him a shout out then because, we just did a concert with him up at the Richmond Tavern in London on Friday, $2 Bill and the Bad Pennies. And so Bill, if anyone's wondering, he made it very successfully on the bus from Portage la Prairie, Manitoba. And he was in London for a few days and now he's off to Ottawa. He's got a show in Peterborough and then he's coming back to Windsor on Saturday at Villains. He's got a show there. And then a really special concert out in Wheatley on Sunday. So that's the 13th with Mike Houston and our good friend Tim Swadling. They're all going to be out in Wheatley. So I'm probably going to end up as a special guest on those shows and do maybe a song or two. But I'm not the main event. The main event is definitely $2 Bill.
He did make it seem like you were important, though.
Aw, shucks.
He did. He made it seem like you were one of the opening acts, pretty much. So.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe there's something I don't know about. I'll be ready for anything, Spencer.
Maybe. Well, you just made my job a lot easier right there, doing all these dates. Thank you for that. But yeah, what's been going on in the last year and a half, music-wise? Have you put out anything? Have you worked on anything currently that is going to be due maybe later this year? Next year?
I don't have any recording projects in mind as of right now, although I think that possibly myself and Mike Houston will put together like maybe a few old country songs, just because it's nice to have, since we've been doing a lot of concerts together, it would be really good for us to have like, again, some covers of old country and bluegrass because we've been really enjoying doing that music. So I've been kind of focusing on that mainly. And it's just lots of gigs. Like last year I played at some festivals and I played, a lot of places. I'm trying to think of I have not played in Amherstburg though very recently. So I got to fix that.
Got to get you here.
I know. Yeah.
You live so close, pretty much Amherstburg, right?
Well, usually in the summer, if I'm not away, I'll do a lot of those shows in the gazebo in the park.
Oh, those are nice.
You know, I don't know if they've put together the schedule yet for that, but there's always a lot of great things happening in town. So we'll see. We'll see.
You mentioned some bluegrass covers there. I noticed, and we were talking about it off air, that you finger pick and you have a great technique. You have very strong fingers. It's really amazing to watch. You don't see too many people finger pick, and when they do, it's not to that depth. You know, you really look phenomenal. Like strong fingers, you don't see that very often with people that finger pick. You were telling me though, when you used to do, you were in like a bluegrass band at one point, or a band that played a lot of bluegrass music. You used to use a pick.
Yeah,
for that.
yeah.
And now, when you're going to be doing these covers, are you going to go back to a pick or are you going to finger pick?
I'm probably going to stick with the finger picking. Like,
Wow.
I really like my bass notes. You know, I'm just doing that with my thumb for all the
You
guitar
had a lot of
players
stuff.
out
You had
there.
your index and your middle finger going too. It was insane.
So it works. It works. Although technically, you know, there's a lot of strict rules in bluegrass, and
Is there?
I'm breaking them by doing that. So,
Wow.
but they still let me play. It's good. And then I do this little twinkly stuff sometimes
That's
too.
right there. You got the index and the middle finger going as well, along with the thumb. And it's very powerful. It's
Oh,
very
thank you.
No, it is. It's very powerful technique. Like there's some strength in there. And you see people and they can finger pick. It's just you have authority on that. Those notes have authority.
Well, thank you. Yeah. It's just all that playing I've done over many years. It's just comes very natural.
It's impressive. Finger picking is something that looks so complicated. So, and that's why I think people probably don't do it as often and as much. You see in the music world, there's only a handful of guitarists that I can think of off the top of my head that finger pick the whole time. So, usually people use a pick. So it's a very impressive thing to see. I want to talk about this as well because it's not too often, we were talking about covers, not too often an artist puts out an album dedicated to cover songs. Just another memory covers collection. Where'd you get the idea? Why a cover album? I love it, but why a cover album?
Well, this was back in 2022. I spent some time in London with my friends who live there, and I thought I'd hop into the studio at the Sugar Shack, and we did 5 of the covers. So there's 5 new covers on that collection. There's a Neil Young song, there's a Madeleine Peyroux, there's Daniel Romano, and an old song that was written in the 30s. So I did, and another song by a guy named Charlie Roth. So yeah, it's not covers like that you would find in a top 40 cover band kind of situation. Although I'd love that material as well. So I just kind of got my friends together and we had a really good time and recorded 5 songs. And then over my career since 2005 when I put out my first record, I've always included some traditional material or covers on my albums along with 4 or 5 of my own originals. So they've all been like half and half, basically. So what I've done with this kind of covers collection was that I put all of the covers from previous albums in with those 5 new ones. So if you go on Spotify, I think they're all on there. And then, my other albums are also on there as well. So
It's got your singles and EPs and albums, Currents Collide. I Don't Want Your Roses, In the Morning, which is come out last year, that single. That's
right.
Cool.
That was written by my friend Steve Harvey.
Oh, Stitches and Incisions.
Yes.
Getting surgical.
Getting surgical.
Saving Daylight. That's a great title right there.
Oh, thank you.
Viper at the Virgin's Feet. Curious about that name.
Okay. Well, that came from a song that I wrote about snakes in church. I don't know if you've heard, like, in the southern states. So I wrote a song about that, and that kind of relates to that song. You have to listen to the song. The song's called Something Holy, and that's where that title came from. It's a pretty cool album. It was almost kind of like a little bit of a gospel influenced album. So
a lot of people
that's
have
where
gotten,
that one came from.
A lot of people have got hurt or even passed away from those snakes in the south. You know,
Well, hey, they're taking a chance, and that's what the song is essentially about. So you gotta,
I like that.
You gotta do your homework, listeners.
Yeah, Magpie as well. Just check out Allison Brown wherever music is available. Check it all out. But this covers, I love it. You don't, like I said, you don't hear of artists doing that very often. And a song that you picked, "Old Fires Die." We're gonna play that here on the Berg. Why that song? Why a cover of that song?
Oh, man. If you know anything about Daniel Romano, he's a songwriter from around the Niagara area. He's kind of a chameleon, you know. He takes on different eras with his writing. And right now he's back into more of a rock and roll kind of vibe with his band. He's actually going to be playing in Windsor on May 23rd. So I have a calendar brain.
Very impressive.
Yeah. Well, I know. I'm a big fan, so I'm definitely going to be there. But he had several records that were very much in sort of a Graham Parsons kind of alt country vein. This particular song he wrote with Dallas Good, who passed away. He was in the Sadies, kind of a very amazing band as well. So I just love Daniel's writing, and he's just super clever. And this particular song is like a little dark. So
Wow.
So when you hear it, you will know what I'm talking about. But
Well,
Spencer, are we still going to have time for me to play a song
yes, we
on
are.
the air?
Oh, yes,
Okay.
we are. Most
All right.
certainly.
I don't want to run out of time.
No. Most certainly. We're going to take a quick break here if you want, because it's song time. Allison Brown, Old Fires Die.
Oh, you're going to do that first. Perfect.
Yes.
Okay.
Old
Thanks.
Fires Die on the Berg. No problem. Old Fires Die. What a cover. Allison, that was phenomenal. Where did you record that? Because it sounds phenomenal.
I am so impressed with how that track came out. Not to blow my own horn or anything, but I recorded that with my friend Simon LaRochette up in London at a place called the Sugar Shack. And huge thanks and props to my friend Paul Aitken, who plays all those electric guitars on that track. Like, he just crushed it. That was the first take. I was like, don't let Paul do another one, because that was perfect. So yeah, I'm really, really pleased with how that one came out, because it's not an easy song. So yeah, it was just a treat to work with those guys on that whole project. So
You think you'll ever get a chance to play it in front of Daniel, whether the studio or a cover?
you know what? I did once, because one night at Fog, it was an open mic night, and Romano was playing across the street. So Daniel Romano, who wrote the song, was playing across the street at Meteor, and I was just like, okay, it's my turn. I'm just going to do the song. But he was in the back, and I don't think he heard it. And he definitely didn't say anything. So I was just like,
Well,
so at least I risked it.
maybe
So-
when you go see him, very short. When's he playing? In
I
Windsor?
believe it's May 23rd.
May
I'm quite
23rd?
sure it is, yeah.
Maybe you'll see him again after, and maybe you can pull up the studio and be like, give this a listen.
Maybe I have a feeling he already knows about it.
Oh.
You know, he's just that cool. He's the guy who just wouldn't say anything, you know?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
He's got a mystique, that's for sure.
I love it. Also, who was playing the fiddle on that?
That was Tara Dunphy from a band called the Risdales up in London as well. So she was just fantastic on that track.
Wow.
So, yeah.
So that the whole album, just another memory. Was it all done in London at Sugar Shack?
Yeah, we did it in 4 days. We did 5 songs in 4 days.
Sometimes you
Yeah.
hear of artists recording different studios, but that one all done same spot.
Yeah, all done at the same spot. You know, it was great to get some of my old friends all together. My friend Dan Henshaw plays the mandolin on that, and I play with him very regularly. So it's nice to have the people that you play with all the time. And then, and then I added some of my favorite London musicians, like Ian McKay, great drummer, got him on that. And I did bring up Russ Macklem from Windsor to play the trumpet on 2 tracks. So he was kind of the only out-of-town guy on that one, as we did in London, because I was dog sitting for my friends at the time. And I was like, you know what? Why don't I get everybody together and we'll just, do a 5-song thing. So, yeah, it was great.
Very
we had
nice.
fun.
Well, I want more. I do want more music. I think you gotta release something later this year, or
Ooh, I don't know about that, Spencer.
maybe you'll get inspired when you go to Vancouver.
Possibly. I do have it in my mind to one day I would like to make a Christmas record. It's kind of on my bucket list.
Really?
So that might be the next thing that I do. Unless I decide to do a little bit more of a project with Mike Houston, and we could do more of a classic country kind of thing. We'll see.
Okay.
So.
Well, I mean, you gonna do covers or a cover, or is it gonna be an original song or songs? What are you thinking here for the Christmas?
Ooh. I have some ideas for some originals, so
Yeah.
it could be like a couple originals and a couple of,
So
and then a
we'll-
lot of classics. Actually,
So a mix of
yeah, it would
originals
definitely
and
be a
covers.
mix. Yeah,
Looking forward. Have you
and I
thought
have
of?
no plans. I haven't made any phone calls for this, Spencer, either. So I don't want my friends to be like, "Oh my God, Allison, are we supposed to be doing the studio or something?"
So I'm putting you on the spot here. Have you thought of an album name either? The title?
Not really.
Not really. That's
Sorry,
all right.
Spencer.
No, nothing
This is
wrong.
like at
I'm
least
putting you on
a
the
couple
spot.
years from happening. So.
Well, we're looking forward to it. I know I certainly am. Like I said, I want more. Like hearing all this, I want more. I'm looking forward. Hopefully, you put out a single within the year. Hopefully,
maybe.
that'd be nice.
Okay. All right. We'll do what we can.
I mean,
for
here
you.
I am. I'm basically just telling you what to do. Yeah, you should put out a single within a
But
year.
no, you are right. I should be putting out some more new music, because it has been a while since those last new tracks came out. So,
Well, it's not too often
It's,
you hear your style of music. It's very nice.
yeah, well, thank you. Yeah.
Like you said, we're gonna get you to play live here in the studio. What do you want to do? What song you feeling?
Well, I think I'm going to spin us back to 2015. I made a record in 2015, the Stitches and Incisions album. And this song, I ended up living downtown in Windsor, and I really ended up writing quite a few songs that were sort of Windsor themed. So this is one of them. It's called Invisible Line. It's about living on the border, and it's kind of, we're in this, our relationship with the border is a little bit different these days, so I thought it might be a song to revisit better times.
Isn't that the truth? Invisible line, like everywhere, not just Detroit, Windsor, like separating America from Canada.
I think it's mostly invisible in most places. I haven't crossed the border very many other times, like in other areas, so except for like Sarnia. So
Haven't even done it there.
yeah.
Well,
Should I give her?
Yeah, whenever you're ready.
All right, Spencer. Thank you so much.
Allison Brown.
It's 11 a.m. and there's a thick haze rising off the piles of petroleum coke. On the east side of town there's a big black cloud. Something's going up in smoke. There's always something burning on the other side. There's always something burning on the other side. In the shadow of a distant city, for miles around you can see dissolved dreams of $5 days, the arsenal of democracy. 3 big bullets pointed right up at the sky. 3 big bullets pointed right up at the sky. There's an invisible line between your heart and mine. I would cross that bridge of stars just to get to where you are. Is there any love left in the city with the hollow heart? Is there any love left in the city with the hollow heart? I stare out at the water and I hope you're not offended that I've been wishing that your border was a little less defended. Every time I see you, we have so much to say. Love is so close, but it's so far away. The red light flashes off and on, a pulse with a steady beat. There's that rumbling sound that could knock it all down like a plywood movie scene. The sun starts to sink and everything turns pink. The sky and the city meet. I can see right through the empty office towers. I wonder if they see through me. I wonder if they can see right through me. There's an invisible line between your heart and mine. I would cross that bridge of stars just to get to where you are. Is there any love left in the city with the hollow heart? Is there any love left in the city with the hollow heart? Is there any love left in the city with the hollow heart?
That is a song that is more fitting than ever, Invisible Line.
I know.
With everything that's going on. Wow, that was great.
Well, Oh, thank you, Spencer.
No, thank you for playing
Yeah,
that
what a
live.
treat.
It's always a treat when someone does play something in the studio. Been a little bit, so we love these
Yeah.
acoustic performances.
It's great.
Yeah, really looking forward to no timeline, but looking forward to the next time you put out a single or an album, whatever the case
Yeah.
may be.
Well, in the meantime, people can listen to my music. It's just AllisonBrown.ca. They just go on. It's ALLISONBROWN.ca. If you are Googling, there's a very famous banjo player that is not me who has one L as Allison Brown. So if you see a blonde woman with a banjo, you have the wrong person.
Look for the brunette.
Yeah, with glasses.
Yeah, 2 L's.
Yeah, 2 L's. Big distinction.ca. Because the other Allison Brown just recently made a record with Steve Martin, and like they've played at the casino and stuff like that. And of course, she's doing all these really big shows, and there has been some confusion over the years. So I always like to clear that up. But yeah,
No
I'll
doubt.
be hanging out with $2 Bill this weekend.
Yeah, go out to Villains on Saturday or Wheatley Church on Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good weekend.
They accept old currency, like $2 bills as well.
Yes.
I read that.
Oh, yes. In London, we had quite a few people bringing in their discontinued currency. Yeah. Yeah, some old 2s and some old 1s even, and pennies. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
So can you give us a quick recap again on when you're playing in the area?
Yeah, the next thing I have around here, I am going to be a guest with Mike Houston, who used to be known as Lonesome Lefty. He plays at Villains every the fourth Friday of every month down at Villains in Windsor. So I'm going to do a couple songs with him April 25th, I think. And then for me, where it's more of a duet thing with me and Mike, we're going to be at Oxley Winery on June the 1st. And then I'm going away to British Columbia again, and then I get back on August 15th. I'm going to be taking the Via Rail train across Canada. There's this great program for musicians where you actually play for the passengers on the train. So I get on in Vancouver and I get out in Toronto. So that's like 5 days long. So I'll be doing that, and then I get back to the area mid-August, and then August 30th, I'm playing out at the Cured Craft Brewery with Mike Houston. And then we have Sprucewood Shores Winery on September the 7th. And we might get some more in between because it's early days to set up our August and September schedule. So
Best way to find out is follow you on social media or your website, ALLISONBrown.ca. This has been a terrific treat to have you in the studio. Play one of your songs, the studio version, and also get you to play acoustically. So, Allison, thank you so much for joining us today on Music Monday. Can't stress it enough. Looking forward to the next time you put out a single or an album.
Well, thanks so much to CKBG here in Amherstburg for putting on local artists and sharing us with the world. We appreciate it.
No problem at all. Allison Brown, thank you.
Thank you.